Best case scenario for each team in the AFC North. Willie, we'll start with you and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I hung out with Ryan Shazier at the Nike opening, so I got to give the defense a shout out. Play great defense, but she said start the season with Le'Veon Bell. How about let's end the season with the healthy Le'Veon Bell? And I expect this team has an opportunity to get to the AFC Championship.
Well, we haven't seen that yet, right? We haven't seen a healthy Le'Veon Bell in the playoffs. DJ, a team that you are very familiar with because you used to work for them, the Ravens.
Yeah, to me, the Baltimore Ravens, I don't know this is a 12, 13-win team, but I think it can be a 10-win team. And we've seen this team in the past in 2012 get into the playoffs at 10-6, and then all of a sudden your quarterback in Joe Flacco gets hot and can get on a streak. You don't need Joe Flacco to play great for 16 weeks. You need him to play great for 4 once you get into the postseason. He's shown he's capable of doing that.
No, he's certainly done that before. The Bengals coming off a disappointing season. Willie, are they going to be able to get back on track?
This is an alley-oop. This is a layup. This is slam dunk. It's get to the playoffs and win a playoff game. First of all, you have to eliminate the bad football, the mental errors, the unsportsmanlike conduct, all the things that keep you away from winning and giving teams the advantage. Eliminate bad football. Eliminate that on the football field. Go out and start the playoffs like you play in the regular season. They have a lot of production, a lot of numbers. They play great during the regular season, but it seems like certain plays, those explosive plays on the offensive side of the ball dwindle a little bit. It's not the same, and then defense gives up plays. So I would say stay consistent like you do in the regular season and eliminate bad football, and you'll give yourself a great chance to win a playoff game.
Just win the game. One playoff win is all they're looking for. Yep. They haven't won a playoff game in 14 years under Marvin Lewis. They haven't won a playoff game, period, since 1990. Did we have the internet in 1990? No, it's been a while.
Were you a cheerleader at Tennessee in 90? Or was
that's
that later?
funny. That's funny. The cheerleading joke's already come. We haven't worked together in 6 months. The Browns. Best case scenario.
The best case scenario for the Browns. I'll put the win total at 6. 6 would be a heck of a year for the Browns. But it's kind of a two-parter here. 6 wins, but then also see enough of Deshaun Kaiser that you can evaluate him and make a decision of whether or not you need to be in the quarterback market next year in the first round. Remember, they've got a bunch of extra draft picks next year. If they're not picking up high, they'll have the ammunition to move up and pick high and get a quarterback. But hopefully they can look at Deshaun Kaiser a lot in the preseason and maybe towards the end of the season and decide if maybe he can be the guy going forward.
So, DJ, you're not even counting like Brock Osweiler or Cody?
I think Osweiler is going to start the season. But I think they would like to get a look at Kaiser at some point in time.
Let me just ask you this one. If you had to pick a favorite, a front runner of the division, is this easy?
No, it's not easy because Cincinnati goes back and forth with Pittsburgh. I wouldn't say back and forth every year, but they've won a division a couple of times out of the last 4 years.
I mean, it's the Steelers' division to lose, though, right?
We have a guest coming up, I think, that might have another team that you want to throw in the mix here.
I don't think I'm going to be talking to him, so I can kind of say whatever I want, right?
Don't count the Ravens out. I'll tell you what, the quarterbacks in this division, if you have to look at those, you're always going to go Pittsburgh with Roethlisberger.
Right.
Well, Dan, the Browns looked awfully smart this offseason. Let's see if during this season they really were as smart as they looked. So where should we start? Let's start with the offensive line. They committed more than $100 million to the interior of that offensive line. Why? Because in the AFC North, you need to be able to run the football, and you, of course, have to be able to protect a quarterback, something the Browns haven't been particularly good at recently. So that's one move that they made that certainly looked good. We'll see if they can follow through on that, carry through on that. The other thing is this defense. We heard Hugh Jackson just say in the last block that he's very excited about this defense. I can tell you, being out at OTAs, being out at minicamp, Greg Williams, the defensive coordinator, brings a heck of a lot of fire. And then, of course, that young man you just talked about, Myles Garrett. Williams said if he was a quarterback, he'd be awfully scared of him.
Thanks, Didi. My X factor is Jeremy Maclin, and when Steve Smith decided to retire, he's now our teammate. He said that they needed a route runner, somebody that was polished, somebody that could run every single route on the route tree. He is that guy. Just because you're a route runner doesn't mean you're slow. He is still fast. He can still take the top off of defenses, but he's a great route runner. When you talk about Perriman and Wallace, those guys, yes, they can stretch the field, but they're not as polished. They're a little bit raw when it comes to running routes. So I would say in that division, for Flacco to throw the ball on every single route, a guy you can line up in every single position, Jeremy Maclin is the X factor.
I'm going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals in the running back position. This is really a 3-man battle, and you look at 2 holdovers, Gio Bernard and Jeremy Hill. You get Hill, who gives you that power as a runner, and you get Bernard, who's a little more of that change of pace back and has the quickness. But then you draft Joe Mixon, who can give you all of the above. Somebody that can run routes out of the backfield, can really be a mismatch in space, and can grind out the tough yards. So my money is on Mixon to end up winning this position. It's going to be a fun battle to watch there in the preseason.